Welcome, my friends. It's Katie in the Nest, and I'm so thrilled to be back with you. I've had some busy days and haven't made videos because I've actually been playing and creating around the table at the Green Door Studios. It's been just the time of my life, I have to say, to actually, um, share my nest with many in both crocheting and slow stitching. So, in that time while I have been away, I hope you had a great weekend, that you are well, and thank you for popping by. This afternoon, the sun is shining, and one of the things I got to do when I was out at the studio was to look at Zoe and Missy's pieces, and the big revelation is that my my piece has not got enough green in it. So this is a block that's going to join three others, and the theme was green. So I thought, in Kate's style, that I had quite a lot of green. I kept the label that's green, but the overall effect when I put mine against theirs is that mine is yellow and pink, and the others are mostly in these tones of greens. And Missy's, of course, I've referred to her has all these other colours, but the main thing is green. So I have to do something. And I love that because it's not only a challenge, but it's a learning opportunity. So I've got some green threads in here. I have just buried. That would be so me. Oh, I have this little bit of stripe that I've always loved, and someone used it on their piece, on their story pouch yesterday, and it just lifted the whole thing. So I thought that's a good green that I like, that I could somehow put into here, even though it's pretty straight. And I do have, may have, yes. I've got some flowers and some birds, and Missy's one has got a bird in it. Hang on, let me stretch over to the birds. I'm running out of space, really, but I wondered if I could turn a bird very green. Open the door. Where would I put a bird? Let's have a little play first of all. Are they all the same size, Kate? I could put a quirky bird, but no. I think I'd like a statement bird, and these ones are flying, which is what my life has done since I went to the Green Door. This one's smaller, and in fact I've beaded these and others for my project, so why don't we have a play with turning that bird into a green bird? Wouldn't that be fun? So let's get something I could lean on for the moment. So I've got here, oh gosh, my, so it's really, I'm really hay fevery. These are my gouache paints, and if you've been able to see any of the posts on Instagram, yesterday was so much fun in that by the end we got to changing the colours of our doilies. So this is interesting in itself, in that this is cotton, and I've only painted linen and doilies before. I'm going to actually stand up to do it because I can see what I'm doing. think about this green. Let's play. It's interesting because it's behaving in a completely different way, sort of being absorbed into the cotton, which I actually really like. The worst I could do is if I had to rub it all out and like wash it out. But not enough yet as I look through the camera. And I always can put it in place to add more on. Is that greener than bluer? I think it might be. I think this is going to be better. All right, but while I'm here and have the paint set out, I've been looking at this lace, which is a bit nylon-y, and I think I need to turn it green. So what are you working on at the moment? I hope you're stitching away, or you might be painting or journaling. See, that feels very strong for me, but it's what has to happen to go in with the others. I'm actually heading out to the green door again tonight because Zoe has introduced Tuesday night mystery nights, where a local artist comes in. Zoe provides supper and even a glass of mulled wine for those who are interested, and then we create for 2 hours around the table. And we never know I haven't been before, so I'm speaking in the we, but I'm not really very well informed. I haven't been there, but Beck is here for her. As I film this, she would be just finishing off her needlebook workshop, and tomorrow she does a 2-day collage one. So she'll be in the house, and some of the lovely people who have travelled, like Karen from Victoria, who did my crochet on Sunday and my pouch yesterday, and the needlebook today is coming along. So it's like continuing the joy. See, while I'm talking to you, I'm just going to paint away and see, without much thought. It's just like playing when we were younger. See how much more green. I feel this one is totally the wrong green, but before I make decisions about that, here's our green bird. That's dry enough for me to cut. You can see this open space. If I can work some way of getting a green bird, then I can go from there. And you know, for the sake of this, I'm not going to worry about Birdie's little feet. So I just sent out a copy of another batch of my newsletter number 3. I've had a lot of people wanting to receive it, and you sign up through the newsletter, through the website, and number 4 will be out next week on Monday. So if you haven't done so, just go to the website. But also, if you have signed up and aren't receiving, do check your junk mail, because I think for some people they're not going straight into their normal priority inbox. So, and if that fails and you still feel that you haven't, you're not getting them, you can always email me at kateinthenest@gmail.com, and I can see if I can put you in directly. So I didn't think I'd be cutting out a green painted bird right now, but it's very good for the soul, especially when these, well, they're a different shape, but we get green rosellas out in our yard all the time, flitting around. There we are, and I've still got little bits of white, but this bird has to fit somewhere. And I think I will probably make even that green, but let's see if we can find. Could a bird fly like that? No. I think she sort of needs to be around there. If I come out a little bit all the way, or how do I go in? And then I have to calm down some of these. See, that's prominent, as is that. I think if I made these leaves greener, I'm starting to get some sense of green in there. I might have to actually accent the middle of that flower with green, and then that would be into playing with that. Okay, well, that's a thought. So let me come back up a bit. Oh, the usual. I haven't unpacked. I was actually so exhausted this morning. Oh, that I haven't stitched and I haven't looked at anything. I'm trying to lead into is I packed up every pin to take out to the studio, and it might be back to use a needle to hold the bird in place. So let's see if we can get some oh, actually, what about the birds flying into that garden? And that solves some of this pink and gives me opportunity. Yeah, so it's like 2/3 the way up. That's what birds do. They fly over the gardens. This is not quite the right green, I don't think. How am I going to get, oh, well, I could start with the right end of the needle, but that doesn't feel very sharp because there's a lot of layers to go through. What else have I got? There's one pin. Yeah, that was much better. One needle. Blunt. Oh, that's right. Okay, so I've got some green thread. Oh. I'm going to come up from behind and I'm going to start putting this birdie in place. Oh, such a joy. So I didn't stitch yesterday either, so this is a Kate back. Expressing through stitch. I'm doing like spaced obvious applique at the moment, and until we decide whether they need to be thicker or yeah, so we've got the lovely Margaret down from the Gold Coast in Queensland with her daughter Nat. It was an absolute delight to meet. Those two brought such humour and giggles and fun around the table, as did everyone else. And I think when they've travelled afar, and I have to tell you a story about Margaret because once she's home and catching up, she might see this. Last year I met Margaret at Rachel and Sarah's workshop, and someone at the table said, "Are you going to teach, Kate?" And I said, "I don't know, and I don't know if anyone would come." And Margaret was across the table and looked at me, and I said quietly, "If I ever do a workshop, would you think about coming?" And when she was talking in the last couple of days, she said, "I kept my promise, Kate. I came." And that means so much to me, like that the trust that people are putting in me is just, yeah, makes my heart sing, because that's no small thing to come down. And she's doing Beck's courses as well. But yeah, it's just a celebration with, yeah, like minds. Okay, I'm going to leave this tail sticking out a little bit for the moment and take that fluffy stuff off. Now I've had enough of that stitch. Oh, buried the tail. It's quite warm here today. We just start to feel very more summery and springy, and then my husband mentioned rain was coming, and tomorrow we've got 100% of rain, and I think it said 9 to 12 degrees, and that's Celsius. So not time to pack away our layer. Oh, what? Just we need to, oh, there's a pin I could have been using. Not time to pack away our layers yet. I can get that needle out of the way. I'm going to leave that feather up for the moment as well. So we'll work out what happens. Then I'll just do a running stitch here, running out of cotton. Oop. The amazing Michelle, also from Victoria, Michelle McKillop, the quilter, is here this week and was with us yesterday and showed us her beautiful quilt. That's amazing, amazing work, as well as her fabric book using her scraps. So we've been blessed to see the work of others. Okay, I'm just going to make long stitches here just to blend in the feathers. Okay, so let's have a think about what we're seeing. What seemed like a really obvious bird when we started feels to me, I don't know about you, that she's fitting in quite well there. This is standing out, which sort of talks to there, but I'm not going to leave that in that colour. But it does lead me to this. It's sort of a painty day, so let's just keep having some fun. Remember, I'm going up against colours like this without painting the whole thing green. I've got to introduce more green. I'm going to try on here, just doing the background beige. Yep. Yep. Okay, which brings me over to here. Mm-hmm. There's my green butterfly. I'm just looking at my garden. I don't want to go too far too soon, but I want to try a little bit of green on this natural linen. The great thing about this is you can still stitch over the painted. Now I'm getting carried away. What you may not know is that I did art all the way through school and I loved painting. And I kept going until my boys were about 4, I think, and then life just got a bit too hectic and I haven't painted since. I like how that went, so I'm just we're going to make this background green. Because I feel then I could put some green beads on the birdie. This makes you want to get your paints out. Yeah, we're turning green. Keep thinking there's a song about green. Oh yeah, it's Kermit, isn't it? Kermit the Frog. It's not easy being green. And also in Wicked, Galinda. And so, my friends, this is what we can do when things are not quite in our colour scheme. And some people paint on fabric as their natural I know Kiki is a great painter of fabric, but I've not done it very much. But I have to say, it's becoming a lovely thing to do. Yep, that tail will go down there, that will go there. What can you see standing out now? That bit? I think I'll just do this little bit behind here. And I should probably stop and get ready. But of course I don't want to stop, do I now? So that's why this little birdie is going to go green. And then a bit yellow. So she's a bit camouflage now. And then I'll bead or stitch or do something over the top. But there you are. I hope you've, well, first of all, I just thank you for joining me again. And hard to find, but there's a bird in there. And there's some green. And we're starting to link. I need to put some green on there. Can't go, sorry. And then of course I've got that green thread that now will become my dominant thread. It's a little bit too much the same, so we'll go brighter. Let's see if we can just integrate it a bit more. And again, I remember the exact moment when I picked up this pot holder. Just bringing those blues down a little bit. And I've got all sorts of ideas now. So I'm actually sorry, I have to stop. But as always, you see my work in progress, warts and all, and joy and all. So, oh, and see, look at this now. I want to do some more embroidery. So I know where I'm going, and thank you for your company. Stay well, keep smiling. Oh, and see you soon. This is Kate. Bye.